You know, Canada, from an outsider's perspective, the view of your politics is that 4 years ago you elected the most handsome leader on earth. That's global opinion. My personal opinion is, I don't know, Boris Johnson. And the global media coverage of his entire term can be summed up in 15 words. Look at this pussy, Pod Potter of SJWs. Oh fuck, too based, way too based. So before I looked into it, I thought, oh great, here we go. All the domestic media is going to be, Canada decides, 2019, Justin Trudeau, based or cuck. But when I looked into it, God, you're a mature country. Only 50% of the headlines were about that. You're always talking about, I love the weather in Australia. Stay beyond the wall, wildlings. It is not worth living under the reign of the Mad King. And while we're on the subject of politics, stop speaking French. Canada, we're not so different, you and I. Because we have virtually the same parliamentary system, you're just Popsicle Australia if you replaced our chronic alcoholism with the fact that you're such stoners that you put a weed leaf on your flag. I bet when Bob Marley died and he walked through the pearly gates, it was just an exact replica of Vancouver. But the other distinguishing feature about our countries is that your elections are, I don't know, sane? The environment is exactly where it should be on your list of concerns. Number 1. The vast majority of the public want action on climate change, and yet Justin Trudeau is hanging on by a knife's edge. So allow me to ask this in the most psychologist tone I can possibly muster. Why is that? Your country's made phenomenal leaps in climate action, and I cannot believe I'm about to say this, but it's all thanks to the Liberal government! Personal joke between us Aussies that you wouldn't get? That you've ruined now because I have to explain it to you? Thanks. For some reason, the Conservative Party here are called the Liberals. I don't know why. The only explanation I can possibly muster is that we're opposite land, which means that we're not opposite land, because I said it and I am in opposite land. Ooh, topsy-turvy. Nothing's as it seems. Why is an Australian giving you advice about how to vote? Because I feel, Canada, that our political cycle is like our time zone. We're a day ahead of you. So I'm literally telling you from the future. Look, I'll put on John Connor's jacket to make it seem more legit. You gotta listen to me now. We've been where you are with your, I thought Trudeau was going to eliminate 150 years of carbon pollution in like 3 days, and now that he hasn't, I don't know what to believe anymore, man. Jesus, and they say Trudeau's a whiny little bitch. I get it. We thought the same thing about our Labour Party, which is your Liberal Party. They promised to meet our Kyoto targets, and all they did was smash our Kyoto targets. Disappointed. And so our Liberals, evil twin that lives in the closet Liberals, got in because the youth vote softened and we became the first nation on earth to reverse our carbon tax. You're about to be number 2, Canada. At least when we did it, it was avant-garde. Don't you ever get tired of living in other nations' shadows? You're ashamed of your Prime Minister because he only got 2/3 of the way to meeting your 2030 target? I can see how that would be upsetting. Allow me to explain it to you this way. It's been 1 term! Calm down! Under the reign of Harper, you were set to increase your emissions by 2030. Justin Trudeau got it down by 19% in 1 term. If Ghoul Pig here gets in, look at him. Sometimes you can judge a book by its cover. It looks like someone's phlegm bought a suit. Under a Scheer government, emissions are expected to increase by nearly 40%. There is a 60% difference between a Scheer and Trudeau government. Maybe if we use Black Friday phrases, it might G you up. You'd be mad to miss it! According to your polling, you want carbon emissions handled and you don't want to pay a cent for it.
Close to 50% of people don't even want to spend a single cent more on initiatives.
How generous of you. Justin Trudeau pulls off that minor favour of, performing the miracle you asked him to perform. Scheer's plan, on the other hand, will cost you $100 a year and see emissions increase. Justin Trudeau is paying you to save the planet, and that's not good enough. Fucking millennials. You signed the TMX pipeline, man. And the Conservatives wouldn't have? Everything I've read about them makes me think, why don't you just change your name to the Shell Party? Your permanent leader should be Cloister. Not only would they have signed TMX, they would have privatised it. The Liberals kept it in public hands. That means that instead of profit going into Cayman Island accounts, it's going into protecting your environment. Look at some of the big ticket items that they're spending it on. $26 billion in green infrastructure, $28 billion in public transport. I mean, if you don't want Trudeau, send him this way. All we get from our Liberals is, more roads and coal plants. You don't like it? Ride a bike. You know, a report came out recently saying that because of the mass extinction, 30% of Canada will need to become a nature reserve and billions of trees will need to be planted. Guess what the Liberals are doing? Making 30% of Canada a nature reserve and planting billions of trees. Our Labor government was making similar moves. We had 30% of our oceans put into a marine protection park. As soon as our Conservatives got in, nah, fish like it's Age of Empires 2, boys. Keep going until there's no more and then move on. We had exceptional land clearing laws under Labor, and as soon as opposite land Liberals came in, lifted them, we now have some of the worst land clearing rates in the world, rivaling Brazil's. As a result, we have some of the worst mass extinction rates in the world. What I'm saying to you, Canada, is you don't get to be disappointed in Trudeau. You don't know what disappointment is. But if Frog Experiment here gets in, you will. And take it from the ghost of Christmas future. If they do, it'll be your fault, millennials. Staying up the night before on your bongs, which you can do thanks to a Trudeau government, you're welcome. Watching conspiracy shit on the net about him and thinking, how can I vote for a Satanist, man? But you know who won't forget to vote? Old people. Their weed is Metamucil, and as such, they'll be up at 6 a.m. shitting and ready to go and shit on Canada's future. So it's up to you, my mild-mannered stoner wildlings from the north. Take what you will from this humble time-travelling internet hermit, but if you think you're conflicted about voting for Trudeau, you have no idea how hard it is for these words to pass these lips, but vote Liberal. Like the video.
Please share and comment below. Comment.